Hey everyone, back again. Before I left off on arrays, and I'm going to actually continue on arrays because I didn't show you how you can define an array with details in it when you first initialize, and I'm going to go into a little bit more detail on multi-arrays. Currently, at the moment, I have pulled up in the array file from the last video or tutorial, however you want to count it. As you notice, I'm just going to do an overview here of what we did. So basically, I showed you how to define a blank array. From there, I showed you how you can just add another key plus an array without defining the key. Key to the value. Next thing is adding a key. So you can define a key. It can be numeric in this case, and then you can set a value to it. And finally, at the very ending of it, I showed you how to set a string as the key, which can have a specific value to itself. So I'm going to actually be leading off of that. We're going to start from a blank file again here. As you can tell, I already have a blank file already open. So starting off, I'm going to actually define an array. So I'm just going to type in my array 2. So you know it's on a different file in case you're using the same file. So I have my array 2, and I'm going to define it as an array. Now, when I said you can actually set values into your array when you first define it, you can. There's 2 different ways to do it. You can set it where it has a key to a value, or it has just a value, and the value automatically gets an incremented key starting at 0. So first off, I'm going to show you you just define values for it, and then it auto increments. So in this case, I'm going to go, this is first value, and then the rest will be numbers here. 2, 3. The reason why I'm setting, I can't type here, the reason I'm setting quotes around it is just to state it as a string, but you can actually just do it this way. 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, I already made this array, and it has no defined keys to it. Instead, it just has values defined. So in general, it should start out as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. Reason why that is because your index, or your key in this case, always starts at 0. It's going by bits, so it's always going to start at 0. Now at 1, 0. And just going to show that to you here. Let me add a PRE tag. We're going to go okay, so let me save that. Let me refresh this page here to kind of show you what you're going to see. There you go. So as I stated, this is going to be 0. As you can see over here, that is the key of 0, or index of 0. And then 2 over here is the index of 1, or key of 1. And all straight down. As you notice, there's nothing difference between from 2 all the way to 7. They all come out the same. It's just the way I defined it. You don't have to have it unless you're going to have like text in it, like hi, or t, or try, or some type of words or a sentence. You would have to have the quotes around it, single or double. Doesn't matter. I totally did that backwards there. Now the other way you can define this, and I'm just actually go down the page using another PHP tag, is you can set it to a key or index to a value. So let's start this off here. Name it my array with key. And I'm not done. Set an underline there. Array. Now this is a little bit done be different defined. So we're gonna start off doing it this way. I'm gonna name this as my name, Garrett. And I'm gonna set an equal sign, then a right caret. It means this index is gonna be equal to this value. So I need to set a value after that. So Timmy. Now, say if I want more values, I just set another comma now. Please be aware I did not set a comma between Garrett is equal to with a greater sign. If Garrett is equal to or greater than Timmy is basically what that is, but that's not how you're going to be reading this, because we're not doing an if statement between what is larger than what is smaller. And so we're saying Garrett is equal to Timmy. The equal to is just having an arrow to point to what its value is going to be. It's the best way to define this. There might be a more logical term to that, but I'm not going to try to search that up and give you a logical term. I'm just trying to make it where you can remember it of it's equaling and it's pointing at Timmy for its value. And then I can set 10 in here. It's equal to huge number. And you can do this forever. Even if I define it like this, give me a second here. Marco. And then finally, even though I'm defining all these, I can actually set the value of just 15 as the last one. So what that would mean is Garrett's going to be a value. Then 10 is going to be an index. Sorry, not a value. It's going to be an index. Garrett is an index. 10 is an index. Then 12 is an index. And then 15 is a value. Now, since 15 is a value, it's going to go off the highest number. That's going to be 13. That's going to be 12. So it's going to be 13 as its index. And I'll show you that here. And I can't get better at typing throughout this time. So we're going to print R this. Okay, so let's refresh. There we go. So as I stated, Garrett's going to be a index or a key right here. I didn't mean to do that. Then we're going to have 10, which is huge number right there. 12 is Marco. And then 13 is 15. Because I didn't define a key for this, I just instantly set 15 as a value. It's going to just go off the next increment higher than numbers. If none of these were numbers, it would start out at a specific number for you. And I can show you that. Let's just make these strings here. 2, or does that make this 1? I like to just kind of show you that so you kind of get an understanding of it. Okay, so refresh. So as you can see, it started at 0 because I have no numbers defined before I ever started doing just values. And the same thing will still happen even if I go down here and add more values to it, like I showed you in the previous tutorial. My array with key. Let's just do this. Next auto index. Always be aware if you start with double quotes, end with double quotes. I don't know if I've ever defined that to you, but do that or you're going to have errors and you don't want the errors. If you start with single quotes, end with single quotes too. My array with key, and I'm just going to show you the one where I define it. I'm just going to use my last name here. Alright, so what I did is I defined my array beforehand. So as you see on this line, it's automatically defined. I set some values into it. I set just an index and some keys. Now later on in my code, just say we're going along the lines, oh, I need to add something else. I can auto add it in where it just auto increments, as you can see right here. And then later on, I might need to add something to a specific value so I know what it is exactly and pull it out. And that, excuse me, that is done right here. And you can see that on the page here. See? So it auto incremented to 1 there. And I added Bailey. Good looker. So that it has continued. Now the next thing I mentioned in the previous tutorial is multi-dimensional arrays. Multi-dimensional arrays are awesome, but they can get bulky and you need to be aware of how you're doing them. I'm just going to show you how to define them. Pretty the same thing that we've been doing already is defining how we do arrays. Well, you can find them the same way. It's just adding an array inside an array. And that can be done multiple ways. And I'm going to show you a couple of examples here. So I'm going to go off of my array with a key. I'm going to actually add on to that. So my array with key. And I'm just going to make this, name this multi. So I'm going to add the value of multi to it. Then I'm going to make that multi be an array. Now this array is instantly empty. So now I need to define stuff for that array. Well, we already know the array is inside my primary array, so it's a subarray of the primary, but I have to call it off a specific index. That might get a little bit complicated down the line, and I'm just going to kind of show you what I'm meaning when I say that. Now I'm going to kind of set a note here. And then I'm going to set a little note of how you're going to call this. Array with key. Because I set it into the index of multi-array, or key of multi-array. A key of multi, my bad. Defined by that. So, since I'm using a subarray underneath, I have to call the primary array first. So I'm going to go my array with key. I know that array is located under the index of multi, so I need to call the index of multi here. And now we know it's an array, so we have multiple options. We can add in where it auto increments. We can set in an index or a key value instantly, or basically those are your two options, or you remove the array. In this case, I want to add to the array. So in this case, I'm just going to auto increment first. We're going to go equal first of multi array. Now, just because I had my indexes predefined, and that's when you end something wrong. Just because I had my indexes defined before as you can see here, 0 and a 1, doesn't mean it's going to be carried down to the subarray. subarray will automatically start back at 0 again, unless defined otherwise. Now I'm just going to call from the main array real quick here. Reason why I'm calling from the main array is so you can see how it prints out and how you can kind of format it as a tree or a branched network downwards. Just save that, so done, click refresher. So I had my first array that I created with you guys. Then I had my array with key. That's the first implementation of my array with key. Now I have my second my array with key. Now as you can tell right here, it says array. You go down through all the values. You have your multi, which is my index or my key. And then next to it, it says array. It doesn't say any text. It says array because it knows there's another array inside this array. So it's going to print out the subarray in this case. That subarray is going to actually come out with an index of 0. Since I didn't define an index, I made it auto increment. So it's going to start from the basics of 0 unless defined otherwise. So then you see first multi. Now this same thing can be done if I wanted to print out, not this whole array, but I only wanted to print out the index of multi here. Since I know it's another array, I can actually do a subprint. I'm going to go right here, add 2 spaces. Let's go just multi key. This will print it onto a new line. That's the whole great thing about about the PRE tag here. So let's go print. We're going to go my array with key. Let's use the key multi. Okay. So now what I just did is I defined from the kernel array an index. Because I know this index has an array sub of it, I can use print r on it. And that should only output the multi array. Right there. So as you can tell, it doesn't come out with this primary of multi because I'm already defining that in the print. I'm telling it to just pull out whatever the value is for this index out of my array. And then what that outputted is just array. So it only printed out this half part right here instead of the key plus. And as you can tell, my new line that I created between these two, just multi-key, shows just multi-key. That's a great way to use subarrays. For those that say if you had an array already and you want to reset the array, you can either do empty unset or some other options here. And I'm just going to go PRE one more time. The reason why I'm sending this onto a new PRE tag is because I'm going to actually break up some PHP code. Let's go my array with key. Doop. Doop. A little too far. And I keep on going too far. Okay, so first off, I'm going to show you how to do unset. Unset will blank out any value. So in this case, my array with key. Reason why I'm setting this line here is just kind of branch apart what is each section here. So I'm going to go and save this, refresh. So before my key, so my array with key, as you can tell right here, had values. Now after I did my unset on my array with keys, nothing outputted. That's because that is now a blank value or not even a set value in this case. So it doesn't do anything. Another way that you can do this is by, if you don't want to remove the whole variable but you want to start from scratch with an array, you can go my with key equal array. And let me actually rewrite that one, the other one here as this. Unset my array with key removes value and variable. Now this following one just resets variable to array. So it's basically like redefining it or just replacing it in this case. So in this case, I just set it to array. So now if I refresh here, it'll give me array but nothing in it. That means I made a blank array off of it. And that can be helpful in times. So overall, what I just showed you here is how to just define your array beforehand, before you start adding more things to it, or if you just want all the values to already be placed into it. Later on, I showed you how to do the key indexes, index or key to value. And then finally, I just kind of show you how to get into a multi-array. Everything that I showed you primary on a primary array can work on a sub-array or multi-array. As you can tell here, I just only showed one example, but you can always set a string to it. And then finally at the very ending, I kind of wanted to show you how to unset the value in case later on it comes in place and it's in your way, or you're trying to set it, or you gotta define error of some sort. And that hopefully will help you out. The unset will work for anything that you have. Session, settings, cookies. Later on I'll go into some more of those. And then my array with keys just re-empties out the array to make it blank for you. If you have any questions about this tutorial, leave a comment down below, message me. If you liked it, click like. If you want to continue seeing these, click subscribe so you get updated, or follow the Twitter page. Thank you very much for watching. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a comment or like below. If you want to keep up with all activities on the channel, click subscribe. And if you would like to watch another video, there's some videos listed down below here. And thanks for watching.